Hello, and welcome to Sunshine Storytime. My name is Platy, the Sunshine Platypus, and today we're going to be reading a story about a very curious little monkey who you might know. And with this story of a curious little monkey, I would like to say a special hello and welcome to all the monkeys of Monkey Business Camp in Berkeley, California, which I will be visiting and monkeying around with this winter break. And I will tell you more after we read our story if you're curious. Today we will be reading, do you know who our monkey is? Curious George! And Curious George Goes Fishing. It is by H.A. Ray. This is George. He is a good little monkey and always very curious. One day, George was playing with a string when he saw something funny. He saw a long string on a long stick being carried by a big man. What could the man be doing with a string on a stick? George was curious. What do you think this man might be doing with this string on a stick? The man was on his way to the lake, and soon George was on his way to the lake too. George watched the man put a hook on the end of the string and a piece of food on the hook. Then the man lowered the string into the water and waited. Any more guesses on what the man was doing? When the man pulled the string out of the water, there was a big fish on the hook. What fun it must be to fish! George wanted to fish too. He had string. All he needed was a stick, and he knew just where to get one. George ran home as fast as he could. A mop would make a good stick. George tied his string to the mop. Now he was all set to fish. Or was he? Not yet. George had to have a hook, and on the hook, something that fish like to eat. Fish would like cake, and George knew where to find some. But where could he get a hook? Why, there was a hook on the wall. It would have to come out. Oh dear, do you think George was allowed to take that whole cake or pull that hook out of the wall? I don't know. With the hook on the string and the string on the stick and the cake in a box in his hand, George went back to the lake. He put some cake on the hook and lowered the string into the water. Now he had to wait. Would he catch anything on the end of his string? George was curious. The fish were curious too. All kinds of fish came to look at the string. Big fish and little fish, red fish and yellow fish and blue fish. One of them was near the hook. The cake was just what he wanted. George waited. The string shook. Do you think George is going to catch the fish? Let's see. But when George pulled the string up, there was no fish on the hook, and there was no cake on the hook either. The fish just took the cake and swam away. Well, if George could not get the fish would not get the cake. George would eat it. The cake was just what he wanted, too. He would find another way to fish. What do you think? Do you like cake? Would you use it to fish, or would you just eat the cake yourself? George looked into the water. A big red fish with a long tail was so near. Could he reach it? Could he catch a fish without a string? George got down as low as he could and put out his hand. What do you think? Will he catch that big red fish? Splash! Into the lake he went. The water was cold and wet. George was cold and wet too. This was no fun at all. Look at those fish smiling. I wonder if they're laughing at George falling in. When George got out of the water, his friend Bill was there with his kite. "My, you are wet," Bill said. "I saw you fall in, so I came to help you get out. Too bad you did not get a fish, but it is good the fish did not get you. Maybe now you can help me fly my kite." George was happy to help. That looks fun. Have you ever flown a kite? It was a windy day, and soon George was dry and the kite was flying high. He watched it go up and up and up. What fun it was to fly a kite! It would have been fun to catch a fish on the end of a string, thought George, but flying a kite on the end of a string was even better. There George is, flying a kite with his friend Bill. And that is the end of our story. It makes me think I was just in a place called Prague in the Czech Republic, all the way across a big pond of water, or oceans, in Europe, and I was in this park, and there were all these kids flying lots of kites, and it was really fun. And I thought how much fun it is to fly a kite. Have you ever flown a kite? Well, I also wanted to share that it's getting a little dark now, but maybe you saw earlier I made it so that you could see outside of my window, because I right now am in upstate New York with my family, and there is lots of snow. We just had our first big snow out there, and it stayed on the ground, and I'm excited to maybe go sledding or something fun like that. I was running in it earlier, and it's lots of fun. Have you ever been to the snow or thought about how fun it would be to go? I also like to make snow angels and lots of fun things. And also, yeah, to tell you about Monkey Business Camp is in Berkeley, California. If you're around and you would like to come join us, we are going to have 3 weeks of camp where we do all kinds of fun things. We have lots of fun games to play, and we play outside, and we do art and cooking and all kinds of fun things. And if you are interested, you can ask whoever you live with to take a look at the website, which is monkeybusinesscamp.com. And we have 3 weeks of camp from the holiday time through the new year. And I'm super excited because I haven't been there for a little bit, and I'm super excited to come play with everybody and monkey around. And also for those that are not here where I am, because it doesn't usually snow in Berkeley, California, where we have camp, I have been making here with my family some snowflakes. I got all different ones we've been making. And this is something that I plan to do with the monkeys at camp at Monkey Business. So if you are coming and that sounds exciting to you, or if you would like to come and join us, please do. I hope that you have a lovely rest of your day or night if this is a bedtime story for you. And I will see you next time on Sunshine Storytime and maybe at camp.